All right, I think we're live. I see your comments. All right, it's gonna be a great day today. I'm excited. We're gonna cover the update to ZimmWriter that's coming in just a few hours. Big update. I was initially gonna call it a 10.260, and then as I started looking into making the training and stuff, I'm like, this is so big. We got to call it 10.5. So massive update in terms of functionality. It's always been my dream to have a way to get bulk SEO for local uploaded to WordPress. Right now, the local buffet is cool, but it doesn't auto upload. And some people, AI's made us all lazy, right? Some people just want, that all auto uploaded. I could never really wrap my head around a good way to accomplish that. But now with the custom global background and custom background and raw prompts, it's absolutely mind-blowing what you can do now. So very excited about that. We'll do a deep dive into 10.50 tonight or today in the live stream, and then I'll answer any questions you have. Anything you want to know about ZimmWriter, I'll try my best to answer them. The hour is definitely yours. Okay. See who's on. We have I can never say this dragon person's name. I can't pronounce your name. Hand pink waving. Roger's here. Roger says it's his first time at this this live stream. We used to do these. We did them for about a couple months, a couple weeks ago, but then summer happened. Summer's always busy for me. My family comes from overseas, and we just have a bunch of stuff going on. But now things have settled down a little bit. So okay. So there's no questions so far. Let me switch cameras here. All right, there's no questions so far. Again, if you have any questions about anything in ZimmWriter, whether it's about the update or not, the hour is yours. I do expensive consulting. So unless you want to pay me a lot of money for consulting, ask your one-on-one questions inside of here. All right. Oh, hey, Jenny. I don't know if I can remember your name. Jenny. Okay, Forrest Gump, Jenny. I think I got it. Maybe I'll try to remember. So 10.5 is going to be really big. I actually have the change log here. I have not uploaded it to WordPress or to my change log on WordPress yet. That's one of the reasons the update's going to take a couple more hours after this. I just got to get the videos done. I have a couple videos made. I have the onboarding video made. I just got to edit it. But there's so much stuff that's changed in this. First things first, we bumped up custom prompts before. And again, I'll pause talking about this new version and take any questions you have. Okay, Her Majesty's Jules asks, what's the best open router model that you found for blog writing? It depends, and and this is an interesting question. Let me switch cameras so you can't see my keys real quick. I want to just delete them and show you the new menu because this is kind of cool. We'll talk about models in a sec. Right now. Okay, so I've done some things in the update. Before, when you started ZimmWriter up, you'd get like the little prompt that would say, "Hey, open up your open your AI or enter your OpenAI key." All of that's gone now. All right, now ZimmWriter is model agnostic. It does not care what model you use. You don't need to use OpenAI anymore. Hooray for people in countries like China where OpenAI has banned them. You no longer need to use OpenAI. You don't need to use a VPS anymore. You can use any of these models to run, or any of these platforms to run ZimmWriter. So you can enter an OpenAI key, you can enter a Grok key, and Grok right now just runs the Llama 3 model, the 70 billion model, completely free. It is rate limited, but that's a free way to generate content. Anthropic's models, and then OpenRouter's models. And OpenRouter has lots of different models in there, but I'm testing them as they release more, and I'm only bringing in the ones that can handle ZimmWriter prompts, or at least somewhat handle the ZimmWriter prompts. What's cool is I have these little links now. So if you want to, create a new key, or maybe you're setting this up for a VA, you can now do that. So just click OpenRouter keys right here. It brings you up to the site. You might have to log in, and then you can create your new keys. Let's see if I'm logged in to at least one of these. OpenAI. Okay, so it takes you right to the key part, and then you can create new keys. Very, very simple. So back to your question, what's the best model to use? Let me get out of here and I'll show you And our drop down, well, let's go to the options menu. So for writing, you have basically all of the models available. And for the ancillary tasks, you have a subset of those. Ancillary tasks are going to be the stuff that we can use weaker models on, and there's no sense to use like GPT-4, which is very, very expensive for some of these tasks. So there's fewer models available in here, all right, but just the models you need. Now, by the way, I forgot to mention this. When you first load up ZimmWriter, if you have not added any of the other API keys, like the Grok key, the Anthropic key, the OpenRouter key, you won't see any of these other models, okay? But these models will automatically populate once you've added those keys and press the save button, okay? So I've entered, I have all my keys entered on my end, so I have all the models available. So you'll see the OpenAI models with parentheses OA. Again, if you've added that OpenAI key, there's only one Grok model right now. And then we have a couple Anthropic models, Haiku, Sonnet 3.5, and then Opus 3. And then we have a bunch of OpenRouter models, okay? If the way, like, what's cool for me as a developer is I can just feed all of the data in, like, to the AI in one format, okay? But some of these models are kind of different. So if, best rule of thumb, if you have access in your country to OpenAI, then use the OpenAI models and not the OpenAI models run on OpenRouter, because you'll get like just a little bit better, okay? Some prompts might not leak as much or something like that. But in general, you can run most of these models that you can run here through OpenRouter. And the cool thing is OpenRouter has two very, very special models called Perplexity, offline and online. I could add these as a separate API, but I'm not going to. We're just going to run them through OpenRouter. But what's so cool is Perplexity Online is basically an online model. Let me show you something. This might blow your mind. This is another new feature inside of ZimmWriter. If you use magic commands, you're in for a real treat right here. Go into advanced triggers, and I made some new magic commands. Rewrite, research this topic and return 2 paragraphs about it, and research on and research off. Now check this. When you create your magic commands now and you save them, and I right click on a button, there we go. You can save or assign a model to that particular command, okay? So for the research off magic command that I've created, I'm assigning Perplexity offline, okay? And for research on, I'm assigning Perplexity online. And I've assigned this to control 5, and this to control 4. So check this out. And when we do this, we don't have to mess with any of this stuff or use settings when menus closed. Just check this out. This is so cool. Who made ZimmWriter? And then let's see, research. Let's do research off. Let's assign that to control 4. Okay, so research off is control 4, research on is control 5. So we're going to use the Perplexity offline model now. This is just like any other AI model out there. We're going to use control 4. Who made ZimmWriter? So it's made by James D. Samanius. I don't even know. That's not who made ZimmWriter, darn it. Now I'll highlight it again. I'll hit control 5. Now this is using the Perplexity online model right now. ZimmWriter was created by Matt Zimmerman, a season. Okay. So what's so cool now is we can assign different models inside of the advanced triggers to each one of these. And if you've never used the magic menu, control 7. Now this is awesome. We can have all of our different things up, all with different models. We can have a rewrite command with a particular model for that, a research model using the Perplexity online. And the reason you might want to do this is because all these models have different costs. Okay, so back to the initial question, what's the best model to use on OpenRouter? It just depends. All right, if you're doing simple stuff and you don't want to spend a lot of money, then right now the GPT-4 mini model is a really good choice. It's very, very powerful. It's much more powerful than GPT 3.5 Turbo, and it's about 60% cheaper than GPT 3.5 Turbo. Now, Mini's not available on OpenRouter yet. Let's check. They'll probably add it like in a day or two, models. Oh, they added it. Okay, let me make a note. I'll add this before release. Open router EPT4 mini. I'll make sure to get this in the release before tonight. Every couple days they'll release a new model, but most of them aren't very good. But this will definitely be really cool for you guys. The reason why I wouldn't use, so going back to the question, what's the best model to use on Open Router? I wouldn't necessarily use Perplexity Online for everything, and I'll show you why. Let's see, Perplexity Sonar Online. This is the model, Perplexity Online inside of ZimmWriter. And this is interesting. So just like all of the other models, whether you're using them on Open Router or Open AI or wherever, we have a price for 1 million input tokens and a price for 1 million output tokens. So this is data that we're feeding into the AI, all right? And this is data we're getting out from the AI. If you're using a lot of background information, a lot of global background and subheading backgrounds, then you'll have more input tokens, okay? But if you're writing like 5,000 word blog posts, okay, you'll have more output tokens. So it's $1 for 1 million input tokens, $1 for 1 million output tokens. In general, if you go into ZimmWriter, I give you kind of like a best guess. Go to the options menu and let me change screens one more time. Go back into here. Okay, there we go. If you go into the setup text API screen, I'll give you like an estimate of how much this stuff costs. So rough estimate, 50 to 75 articles, 2,000 words each per million tokens, 10 H2s, FAQ, no custom prompts, no SERP, no custom backgrounds. In general, you'll get about 50 to 75 articles per million tokens, okay? So GPT-4 Mini is 15 cents for input tokens and 60 cents for output tokens, combined for a million, okay? Whereas like GPT-4 is $30 for 1 million input tokens and $60 for 1 million output tokens. Again, roughly 50 to 75 articles, give or take, depending on your settings, okay? So you can kind of scroll down here and see kind of how much stuff costs. Now, there is a difference over here with Perplexity, and this is the first model that has it, the Perplexity Online model inside of ZimmWriter. Every 1,000 requests that you make using it costs $5 extra. Okay, it's just $5 for an extra 1,000 requests. And the reason is because it's actually going out to the internet and scraping data, retrieving data. That costs money. So there might be reasons why, talking about the magic menu again, controls, our magic commands, there might be a reason why you don't want to use the Perplexity Online model for everything. Or even though it's really cool, you might not want to do that. Okay, use it for specific situations. Likewise, we're going to talk very soon about custom, let's close this, outlines. And a really cool new feature inside of ZimmWriter is the ability in our custom outline to designate a particular subheading to be written with a particular model, okay? So for this and this is not a great example right here, but this particular subheading, Final Thoughts, I want written with the model Llama 3 from Grok. Cooking Tips, I want written from GPT-4 from Open Router. And this I want Perplexity Online, Open Router, okay? I was on a consult call yesterday with an individual, an agency who deals with law firms, and they were writing some articles for their clients' blog posts. And in there was a subheading about statute of limitations. And, their fear was, well, the AI is just going to make stuff up. Like, how long do you have to file a claim? The AI is going to make stuff up. Well, if you think about a law firm, for instance, it's publishing many different similar articles for all kinds of different cities. Like maybe there's 50 different cities. They're going to have 50 similar articles, not identical, but very, very similar. So they might each have, like, for Ohio, an article for drunk driving in Toledo, Ohio, drunk driving in Columbus, Ohio, drunk driving in Akron, Ohio, okay? So you could have a statutes of limitations section in there and then assign Perplexity Online to go look stuff up. Now, whether it finds it or not, that's a different question, okay? But you can now assign different models to different subheadings in your custom outline. Very, very powerful. So what would I use on Open Router? It just depends. test that stuff out. It's not that expensive. Write one article with, each different model, test stuff out, and you'll get a better feel for what you should be using. That was one question. Wow, I really went deep with that question, right? What else do we have? Everyone's waiting for the mini update. Yep. Okay, that was Her Majesty's question. Roger asked, does ZimmWriter offer the capability to include links to external sources like quote citations and stuff? Not at the moment. And I've been mulling around in my mind, how would I do that? What would be the best approach? I haven't settled on, like, this custom background feature that's coming with the custom global and custom subheading background for custom outlines. That enables us to do bulk local SEO buffet. Okay, I didn't come to that, that idea. I just kind of had to like have in my mind, okay, I want to somehow accomplish this. I'm not sure how to, and then I just kind of let it, simmer in my mind for a month, and I came up with this idea. So it's on my mind. External links. I don't know when it will happen, and I don't know how it will happen. Okay, so I'm just kind of letting the idea simmer in my mind, because I don't want to come up with some stupid solution. I mentioned in the Facebook group how how one of my AI sites got a free backlink from my competitors because they're using an AI writer that just goes out and cites random sources. And one of my sites was a random source, so I got a free backlink from them. Yeah, so do you really want to be citing competitors? I don't know. So it's on my mind. Do you know what the blog quality of 4.0 mini is, say 3.5 turbo? I've been impressed with it. I haven't done a lot of tests, but I've done enough tests to make sure that the prompts don't break, and the stuff in the AI vault, which uses like CSVs and things like that, work okay. So I think the quality is a little bit better than 3.5. And it's definitely cheaper, like 60 to 75% cheaper, again, depending on the amount of input versus the amount of output. So I've actually set it now. It is now going to be, for people that install the first time, the default writing model and the default ancillary task model. So that's how much and I think also OpenAI's goal is to replace GPT 3.5 with GPT-4. I think it's called Omni. Yeah, Omni Mini. That's going to be the new default model. Eventually, GPT 3.5 will be phased out. Okay, Roger has another question. Would be great if we can set up writing rules in ZimmWriter. I know ZimmWriter allows us to mimic. So I don't know what writing rules you're talking about. Right now, we are going to have raw prompts, and that's absolutely amazing. We'll talk a little bit about it. I don't want to go over the hour, but the raw prompts are going to knock your socks off. I just finished the guide. That's why this update's taken a little bit longer, because some of this stuff I really had to spend time doing the guides for. So if you go to the rankingtaxes.com, my site, go to secret training, there's 2 new guides. There's a couple of guides on here. There's a custom background guide, a raw prompt guide, and also a secure mode guide. This is kind of cool if you're if you have an agency and you're letting a VA use an unused lifetime license for ZimmWriter. That's pretty cool right there. Let's look at raw prompts. So this is like a very, very in-depth article I wrote this morning, and it allows you to basically disregard the ZimmWriter prompts for a particular subheading and create your own prompt. So you'd go into ZimmWriter in the bulk writer, custom outline, and create a raw prompt. All right, and this is what the menu looks like. Let me close some of these. So a raw prompt is going to like my stuff that I send into the AI, and like maybe you enable literary devices, you enable lists, tables, your voice, your audience personality, all of that no longer happens anymore for a subheading that uses a raw prompt. And so this is the menu, and this is the template that I send in to the AI. All right, your raw prompt that you put in this box right here, okay, goes in my template right in here, okay? And if you don't have any global background and you don't have any subheading background, then this right here is all that I send to OpenAI or to whatever AI model you're using for your raw prompt. Okay, so we'd have the article title, the title you've given to the article in the bulk writer. the name of the current subtopic. If it's an H3, then it would be the H3 name plus the parent H2. If this is an H4, it'd be the H4 plus the H3 plus the H2, okay? And then the exact prompt that you are putting into this box up here for your raw prompt, and then the result. So I send all of this stuff to OpenAI or to whatever, Perplexity or whatnot, and then also send these if you have that background information in there. And then after that raw prompt happens, after I get that result from the AI, then we perform the secondary passes. If you would have enabled nuke AI words, that will apply next. Then if you enabled skinny paragraphs, that will apply after nuke. If you applied a custom prompt, that will apply after your skinny. And then if you are translating this to a different language, that will apply as the last step, okay? So you can save your prompt, okay? And then you can apply your prompt on different custom outline subheadings. Excuse me. So here's an example of a raw prompt we created. Raw create more titles. Another raw prompt here, raw ingredients, raw recipe. So this would be like an outline, and I just threw this together in 5 minutes. This would be an outline for a couple of different articles: best barbecue ribs recipe, best chicken tacos recipe, best crumb cake recipe. So these are, again, you're using a custom outline for bulk generation for articles that are going to share that same outline pattern, that same outline format, okay? And so all of these articles here can all save or all use this common outline right here, okay? So let's talk about each one of these right now. Let's talk about the raw create more titles, okay? So I made a prompt called create a bullet list of 5 titles for a blog post about this topic. Each title should be no more than 12 words. Now, what's really crazy about raw prompts, and this is not something like, why would we do this? We don't really want a blog post, okay, for a recipe about, best barbecue ribs recipe that has like this extra titles at the top of it, from a prompt that had this. Like, what are we doing here? Well, I have disabled this checkbox, allow uploading subheadings to WordPress. And so what is going to happen is ZimmWriter will carry out this prompt, okay, but not upload the result to WordPress or not put it in the HTML file. You'll get it in your text file, okay, but you won't get it on WordPress. You won't get it anywhere else. Reason being is, like, maybe, for instance, you're not happy with the ZimmWriter titles. All right, so you want to create up your own prompt, raw prompt, with some alternative titles that you can pick and choose from at your own leisure manually, okay? So this is what it would look like in the text file. Extra titles, and ZimmWriter puts this little underscore here to indicate that ZimmWriter is not going to upload it to WordPress. And then we have some different titles here. Finger Licking Good, the ultimate barbecue ribs recipe for summer cookouts. Mastering the art of tender, fall off the bone barbecue ribs. So we have this now inside of our text file. It's not uploaded to WordPress, and it allows you or a VA to now go back in and pick the best title if you're not happy with the ZimmWriter title. Now expand this concept out. Again, this was built inside of a custom outline. All right, this is just one example. Maybe you want to make 5 different meta description variations. Maybe you want some just random bullet points about something, okay? You can do all that now and not have that stuff uploaded to WordPress and just kind of in your text file for whatever use you want, okay? So that's a really cool feature of raw prompts. The other normal thing that you can do, all right, is just have ZimmWriter write the content for it using your prompt. So we're going to do ingredients right now. Let's scroll down to this raw ingredients prompt. So this is the prompt for raw ingredients, okay? That's the raw prompt, and the name of the prompt is called ingredients. So write 2 paragraphs, and then write a markdown format table of common ingredients for this dish. And we're going to apply any global background. We're going to apply any subheading background. We're going to also upload this to WordPress. Here's the output we get from the raw prompt. We have our 2 paragraphs. And I wrote this with Sonnet 3.5. So depending on how complex your raw prompt is, your mileage will vary depending on the model that you choose, okay? But this is what I got. So this would be uploaded to WordPress. Actually, this was in the HTML file, so we don't have like the pretty HTML tables being displayed. But if this were to be uploaded to WordPress, then yes, you'd have the nice, cool tables. But yeah, we created this from our raw prompt right here, okay? Let's scroll back up and I'll show you the next raw prompt we're using. We have one for recipe, raw recipe, okay? So I'll scroll down here to our raw recipe prompt. Write a recipe to cook this dish using 7 steps. Each step should include a 2-paragraph discussion. So that's 14 paragraphs total. This would be impossible to use to create in ZimmWriter without a custom prompt or without a raw prompt. So look at the output. This is like really small. You're probably not going to see it on the stream, but check this out. This is for one subheading, the subheading recipe. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, 6, 7. We have 2 paragraphs for each. It perfectly, at least Sonnet 3.5 did, carried out this particular raw prompt. All right, let me scroll back up to the rest of our outline. Then we have cooking tips and final thoughts. We don't have any raw prompts on those, so those will be carried out as normal. And then I won't talk a lot about it in this live stream, but read this guide because it will even talk about stacking raw prompts. You can have a raw recipe and then a second raw prompt that will work off of the output of the first raw prompt. Then you can have a third raw prompt that will work on the output of the second raw prompt, okay? So this is kind of how it works. The first raw recipe will apply, and then second raw expander, all right, applies to the result from raw recipe. And third, raw italic SEO entities applies on the result from raw expander. So you can totally stack these. I don't know what your use case might be, but I know a lot of ZimmWriter users will find amazing ways to use both raw prompts, but also stacked raw prompts. So I talk more about how it all works in here. And what's cool is all of the raw prompts will work with the majority of additional variables for custom outlines, although there is like a little asterisk for auto H3. So that's raw prompts. I don't know how I started talking about that, but it's incredibly powerful. Huge new feature inside of ZimmWriter. And then we also have custom backgrounds. Read the guide on this too. This is again for custom outlines, okay? Using this with custom outlines. Although I guess custom global backgrounds, we don't have to. Right now, like if you go in the SEO writer, let's use that as kind of an example. You can put a global background in, okay? And then you can also come over here for your subheadings and you can put in subheading backgrounds, okay? Or if you SERP scrape, then the SERP scrape will be used as the subheading background in here, okay? So that's all kind of cool. Can we do that with the bulk writer? Yes, we can now with this background stuff. So we go to the custom outline and set custom background. And we can create global background and non-global background, okay? Don't know if I have any, I don't really want to load those up because that's from the call I had yesterday. But kind of how it works is you can create a global background in here up to like 1,200 or 1,500 words. And it will be sent, if you apply it, it will be sent into every single request. I think every single request in general that ZimmWriter would make to the AI. And you'd apply it at the end of the title. Let's see, using it at the end of the title in the bulk writer. So this is the bulk writer right here. This is the bulk writer. So you'd have your title in here, car repair in Toledo, Ohio, and then we'd have our custom global background, company bio, Taylor, Toyota. So maybe you're doing some local, a lot of this deals with local stuff. You know, the whole genesis for this idea was a bulk local SEO buffet. And that's kind of what we have now. So, you know, car repair in Toledo, Ohio, car repair in Cleveland, Ohio, car repair Akron, Ohio. And then we have a custom global background about our company. You know, we've been in business for 50 years. We're a family owned and operated, all these details. You know, we offer free financing and all this stuff. You could put in up to 1,500 words of that stuff, and then it will apply as it writes each one of these. And then the AI will pull stuff out selectively as it thinks is necessary. Now, that's custom global background, CGB, that we would create in this area here. We'd name it with like a CGB and then give it a name, okay? Now you can also create custom background, and a custom background is going to apply on a subheading level, okay? So that's when we're using a custom outline. I don't know if I have any in here. Let's see. No, I don't have any examples. Maybe I have an example on this page here. All right, we define our custom background, and then, you know, here's our bulk writer, and then here's how we can apply them. So you see the statute of limitations right here, statute of limitations in custom background, SOL, Ohio car accident. So that's like a custom background that I added about a statute of limitations in Ohio for car accidents. So if I'm a lawyer, all right, and I have 100 pages to make for 100 different cities in Ohio about car accidents, I can, with this custom outline, um, get fairly accurate information on the statute of limitations, which you don't want to mess up on, for all of those pages, all automatically, because I provided that data and now it's going to pull it as it writes that article. And we're also using these vars right now. If you're not familiar with this, check out the custom outline guide. But basically, we would define our variables. So statute of limitations in Toledo, Ohio, statute of limitations in Cleveland, Ohio, statute of limitations in Akron, Ohio, and then would apply that custom background to each one of those. Very, very, very powerful stuff. All right, let's see what we got for questions. I'll talk about some more of the cool features that we have too after I've gone through these questions. So Roger, that might be some writing rules that you're able to now work with using the raw prompts. Mini, yes, we'll have mini GPT. Yep. Can we set up rules for keyword density? You got my money. Yes, you can, if you want to, you can do raw prompts for anything. Like any kind of prompt you want to put in, you can put in. Just realize that you are now the prompt engineer. All right. So if you're creating prompts and it just totally gives you, prompt leakage and very verbose kind of output, like here's the results you were asking for, stuff that you wouldn't want without editing in a blog post, then that's kind of on you. I've gotten really great results with it when I'm simple with my raw prompts. But yeah, you can kind of do whatever you want. You can do a first raw prompt to generate that recipe if you're using like a recipe, and then you can do like one of Casey Keith's like SEO entity prompts, to find like SEO entities and maybe like italicize them or something like that. So all kinds of stuff you can do. Roger asks, let's add these to the broadcast. There we go. Roger asked, will the topical authority feature be integrated with the bulk writer or the SEO writer? This to make sure we can develop the topical authority feature. So I'm assuming you're talking about the AI Vault topical authority generator. Is that what you're talking about? Will the topical authority feature be integrated with the bulk writer or SEO writer? That's assuming that's what you're talking about. Let me scroll down to see if you've replied. You have not replied. You can kind of use it. Like let's go over here and say like car accident. Let's see, law firm hiring criminal defense law firm. Actually, let's not do hiring. Let's do criminal defense law firm. All right. And we'll just do it really quick. We'll do 3 of each just to make this short and quick. And these are the different clusters, types of criminal defense cases. Let's just go with that. All right. So I am on the right track, Roger. Okay. I interpreted your question correctly. So we're generating our topical authority CSV right now. It could be slow because everybody's using Mini right now. It's like, let's go use GPT Mini. Is it a pop-up or something? I don't get it. Let me see. Can I control? I don't know if I can control Q this or not. I'm in Parallels. Let's see if I can just exit this. And I'll restart ZimmWriter and I'll use GPT 3.5. I don't know if Mini is just going slow because everybody's using it right now. Topical authority generator, car accident law firm. All right, and we will use GPT 3.5. A lot of these are on different servers, so if one's slow, then the others might be fast. Proceed. Let's see what we get here. Yeah, this was going a lot faster. I'll have to check to make sure. It could have been leaking prompts. I don't know. I don't think it is. And it was just retrying, but it wasn't getting what it wanted. All right. Processing cluster 3. I would not use Perplexity Online for this. I don't think you can though, but that might be expensive. I guess you get 1,000 results. That would be $5. That would be interesting, but I probably wouldn't use Perplexity Online. So while this is finishing up, you can take the output in there and you can use it in the bulk writer. You can use it directly in the bulk writer, and you can also use it one by one in the SEO writer. Here we go. All right. If you've never used the topical authority generator, what it is I basically use AI to generate, as best as AI can, a comprehensive, let's say, like if you have a blog, let's say you have a website about just everything under the sun, about there's one article about how to hire a criminal defense law firm. There's one article about how to buy a trampoline. There's one article about how to wash a dog. Okay, your blog is all over the place. You're not seeing really, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. Google doesn't like that. Google likes it when more of, you have a specific focus. Like, what's this website about? This website is about car accident law. It's a law firm, okay? This website is about trampolines. It's all about trampolines. So the concept is that you will build out a lot of articles about a particular topic. And whether those articles have search volume or not is kind of irrelevant. What's relevant is, in Google's eyes, are you an authority on this topic, okay? So, because back in the day, people didn't do SEO; they just wrote blog posts, and maybe your hobby is I don't know, is collecting glass bottles or something. I have like a glass. I'm trying to think of something. I have a glass right here. Maybe your hobby is collecting glass bottles. Some people do that. They look for that radioactive glass at the store. It's pretty cool. Maybe that's your hobby, okay? And you don't really target SEO. You're just writing about your glass bottle collection and stuff like that. Well, Google now knows that you're an authority on these glass bottles, okay? So that's the concept behind this topical authority generator. We don't know if any of these have search volume or not, but you can use this to kind of write articles and then build up authority on that area. Now, I wouldn't like pump and dump. I wouldn't just publish 1,000 articles at once. There is a content velocity Google has indicated they're looking at now. So the AI sites that I have, I'm generating about 3, or I guess I've generated all the articles. They're on all of my sites, but I'm only publishing them automatically about 3 a week. Okay, so I'm going very slow with the drip feed. None of them have gotten slapped yet by Google. So that's what I would do. I would just go a little bit slower. You can publish them all on your site. Just don't have them all scheduled. So let's talk about this really quick. So this is our concept we put in car accident law. We said we want 3 different clusters. So we have legal representation for car accident victims, compensation for claims and settlements, and expertise in personal injury litigation. And then we have some long tail keywords. Again, this is AI generated. It's not with actual search volume. It might be, but we don't know. Experienced car accident attorneys near me, compensation for car crash claims. And then we have the different titles. Okay, so this is a what is post. What sets experienced car accident attorneys apart? Top 5 local car accident attorneys near you. 7 best car accident lawyers for victims. So if I was an agency or a law firm, or an agency working for a law firm or just a law firm, and I'm like, okay, I want to write stuff now. What do? I would delete the stuff that I don't want, because there's stuff that you don't, and there's overlap also. Let's get rid of this, because we don't want to advertise other car accident attorneys. We don't want this. We're not going to rank for that. These are good, even though these are in the same long tail. I like these. These are good. So let's just pretend that all we want to write is this stuff right here. Okay, that's all we kind of want. So let's kind of clean this up a little bit. You can go right now and you can take these article titles and just go to the bulk writer and just paste these in, all right, and have it write the articles, all right. You can even enable SERP scraping if you want to. Now this is not, because these are all over the place from a subject matter standpoint. I would not be using a custom outline. We're not going to be using custom background. We wouldn't be. I guess you could use custom background, maybe stuff about your firm. Like if you load up a bunch of information about your law firm, you could do that. But you wouldn't want to use a custom outline and then like raw prompts and stuff for this. Okay, so that's the first thing you can do. The second thing you can do is you can go over here to this merged column. We can take this merged stuff, and instead of just pasting in the titles, we can paste in the merged stuff. Now the merged stuff is very interesting. It's going to create categories on your WordPress website and assign these articles to those categories. So car accident victim advocacy. Okay, car accident victim advocacy. I guess these are all going to the same, yeah, these are all going to the same category because they all went to the same cluster, okay? So all of these would go in the same category. And then we have an outline focus. An outline focus, you can read more about this in the bulk writer exhaustive guide linked up here. But basically, sometimes your title is a little bit ambiguous. And so we want to give the AI a little bit more direction. The concept for the numeric list is experienced car accident attorneys near me, for the topic of legal representation for car accident victims in the context. So we're kind of giving it more context. Now the slug is going to be this long tail keyword from over here, all right? And where'd it go? And that's going to be like your slug for the actual article itself, for the WordPress article, whereas your title is going to be this. Now it's really cool. You can, even if you don't use the topical authority generator, you can set your own slugs this way. Like I would recommend, like you go to Ahrefs, you go to SEMrush, and you download all your keywords. Okay, you have those keywords. Those keywords should be your slugs, ideally, right? And you can load those all up inside of Excel. Okay, and that's one column, and you prepend them with the curly brackets, slug equals, and then end curly brackets. And then you put like a little dash in between each word, where in lieu of a space. Okay, so that would define your slug, and then you could have your title be something completely different. Okay, it's still obviously related to the slug, but it's that click-friendly title. Okay, so what sets experienced car accident attorneys apart? That's the title for the slug, experienced car accident attorneys near me. Right? Slug's a very, very powerful feature inside of ZimmWriter. And I forgot I mentioned this too, and I'll mention it to you guys just on this live stream as a bonus. If you have existing categories inside of WordPress, you can also go into Excel and create like a separate column for your categories. And you eventually merge it all together. But these can be existing categories if you want to. And plus, if you have two parent categories with two children categories who have the same names, so you have like, I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but if you have identically named categories on your site, ZimmWriter could get confused. So you can also, instead of using the name, you can use the ID, like 154, all right? All of your categories on WordPress have an ID, and you can go on WordPress and download like an ID revealer plugin, and it will reveal all of the IDs for your posts and for your categories. And you can simply put the ID in here, and that way you're guaranteed that it's going to get into the right category. Obviously, don't do this if you don't have, if the ID doesn't match. Otherwise, you'll end up with a category named quote 1154. You don't want that. Okay. So we're talking about now how we can use this topical authority CSV with ZimmWriter. I just showed you how we can use it with the bulk writer. Let's talk about how we can use it with the SEO writer. So SEO writer, it's one-off articles. So we'd simply go to the blog post title, we'd copy it, and we'd go to the SEO writer, and we'd simply put in the title up here, and then we can enable SERP scraping if we want. We can say, okay, I want 10 subheadings, and we're going to generate them using the AI, or maybe we'll generate them using the SERP scrape, whatever. And then we can do whatever we want with it. Very, very powerful stuff. But yeah, that's how you would use this CSV file with both the SEO writer and also the bulk writer. Okay, let's check out the rest of the questions. All right. Jenny asks, so the different models can be seen once ZimmWriter is upgraded. Yeah, well, no. Right now, it depends on what models you're talking about. With this new version 10.50, you'll only see the models that you've entered the API key for. All right, so if you have not gone into here into setup text API and entered an open router API key, then you won't see any open router models, okay? But the second you enter an open router model or API key and you press save and verify inside of this menu right here, okay, then those models will become available. The open router models will become available. Same for all the other things too. Anthony asks, you said a couple videos back that you were releasing a tutorial how to use Zim. You said, I don't know, have I released it yet? Okay, I know what you're talking about. Trying to give you the best answer I can. I think that's next on the game plan. I was going to kind of dial back ZimmWriter releases so I could like focus on that, but I don't know. Once you get an idea, you just have to, you know, implement it, I suppose. So I believe that's going to be next on the agenda. I guess talking about the business a little bit, my monthly revenue is solid, but we do have people that will like subscribe to ZimmWriter and then leave. And so I think I've decided to just make the course, I'll make a couple of them actually, make the course free. The course is free to help people that are subscribing to ZimmWriter and trying to figure out how to use it. Because ZimmWriter is not an easy tool to just instantly pick up and start using. You know, you open up the bulk writer and you're like, oh my gosh, there's like all these different options. Like, what do I do? And then you just start like, let me just click everything. Because if I click everything, that's the right answer, right? That's not the right answer. So I think making the courses free would be the best idea. And I think I'm going to be working on that immediately after this update. That's next on my game plan. All right, sorry it's taking so long. I still have a full-time job for the government that I work part-time. And, you know, I have family. I went away to a volunteer camp to work with kids for a week. My family from Finland came for 3 weeks. So it's just been a really, really busy summer so far. I'm trying. Rude asks, would it be possible to add a beautiful little tick box that saves our settings after we close this wonderful software? Oh, I love my butt is all buttered up right now, right? I would like to do that, but ultimately I have to say, okay, I need to start spending my time on redeveloping ZimmWriter from scratch in a new language. Like that's a neat feature to have, but it's not an easy feature to build. So I'll think about it. It's definitely been a highly requested feature, but I can't say yes or no right now. Jenny's brain doesn't work. That's okay. I feel like that every morning when I wake up. Roger asks, what about adding an internal link feature? All right, not going to do that. That's not on the agenda in this version of the software, just because there are standalone tools that do that charge more than ZimmWriter. All right, number one. So they're standalone tools. They charge more than what ZimmWriter costs, and it's complicated to do it right. Right? Yeah, I could just do some nonsense for you, but I don't think you want nonsense. I like to do things really cool. That's why you guys use ZimmWriter, right? You use ZimmWriter because you get good output. I want to do things right. I don't want to do things halfway. So looking at your example of raw prompt 7 steps, could you use this to break down examples starting with email marketing? Great information. You could. I mean, you could technically think of the bulk writer now if you're going to use a custom outline with raw prompts. And you know, if you don't even want to upload the stuff to WordPress, we don't have to, like, we do our raw prompt. If we don't care about even uploading to WordPress, then this button right here doesn't really matter very much. But yeah, you could theoretically just have an outline with all raw prompts. You know, thing 1, raw name. Thing 2, raw name 2. So you could kind of build a whole, I don't know how long this will be. I mean, I think, I don't have a limit on it, but I think you could eventually just break the memory if you made this too long. But yeah, you can kind of build whatever you want right now. And, you know, you'd write the article and it would not use any of these settings. I mean, I guess the only ones it would use is if you enabled it would be the nuke, because that's a second pass. And then it would just by default make a conclusion. It just by default makes an introduction, We can't disable the introduction, but you can disable the conclusion. We can disable skinny paragraphs, so that's also a second pass. But everything else in here, aside from your model choice, it would not use. And you could do subheading images. But yeah, you could do email marketing. You could do all kinds of weird stuff with it, kind of outside the field of intended use, right? But it would work, yeah. Bob asks, is there a way to manipulate ZimmWriter via custom prompt or something to do what you want to do, like applying basic SEO functions? Is there a way to manipulate ZimmWriter program via a custom prompt or something to do what you need it to do, like apply basic SEO functions? I mean, that's what a magic command is. If that's what you're talking about, so I don't know if this is like a follow-up. I don't know if it's the second question or not. I used bulk convert keyword to blog post titles, ran ZimmWriter. So you used AI. Okay. I used bulk convert keywords to blog post titles, ran ZimmWriter, and article did not use the keywords. So this feature doesn't use keywords. Like this doesn't use keywords in the article. Like if we put in, let's put in our keywords, how to wash a dog, tricks to get into college, who should win the election. All right, give us a name. We'll just call it test. And let's just use 3.5 because mini seems slow. And we'll get our output right now. Got my energy drink. All right. So this is the SEO keywords to title. So you'd go to like SEMrush, you'd go to Ahrefs or something, and you would paste in your keywords into here. Got it. Make this a little bit, format, width. And hopefully y'all can see this. I'll make it a little bit, ooh, that's really big. Come on, just like, there we go. So these are the keywords we input, okay? These are the 5 titles. 3 steps to wash your dog properly, how to wash a dog, how to master dog bath, wash a dog in 3 easy steps. What ZimmWriter tries to do is it will say, okay, AI, write some blog posts about the, using this keyword phrase, turn it into a blog post title. And then it will try its best to, it will choose a recommended title. And it does that basically by looking at how many of these words were used in the title, okay? Sometimes we get, a very exact match. Sometimes we don't. Tricks to get into college. Get into college with 7 proven tricks. So it chose this one. Expert tricks to get into college. Essential tricks to get into college. So it chose this one. You're free to choose your own if you want to. Doesn't matter. Top 5 candidates who should win the election. Who should win the election? So we have the exact match right there. That's what it picked. And then we have our recommended title, we have our slug, and then we have our merged. Okay, so we take these merged and we just put them right into the bulk writer. And then whether it uses any more keywords as it writes the articles is a totally different question. Okay, but that's how you're supposed to use this keywords. Because what I found was, I mean, and this might not be ideal. These might not be 100% perfect. Okay, but we're using AI to kind of automate this process. Imagine, like, we live in the world where it's more beneficial to create lots of sites really quickly as opposed to just focus on one individual solitary site. Because you could have a perfectly good site that you've spent hundreds of hours on, and there's no AI on it, and you're just trying your absolute best, and you get slapped by Google, or you're just not ranking by Google. So my mentality now is just create lots of sites. All right, create lots of sites and see what sticks. So if you're creating lots of sites and like each site is going to have like 1,000 keywords or something, who has time to individually go through each keyword and like map them all out to like a hierarchy and then turn them actually into blog post title names? That's why I made this feature. So you can just feed in all your titles and then the AI will generate 5 possibilities. I don't know why this is all kind of messed up right now. And then try to pick the best one for you. So that's the purpose of that tool. I hope that answers your question. Roger says, I know I can copy paste all the keywords from the CSV, but if the data is already in ZimmWriter, it would be cool to send it over. Oh, I see. You just want to skip a step. No, don't be lazy, Roger. I know you're not lazy. Don't be lazy. Let's see. Yakov asks, hello, thank you for your program. I love it. And customer support is awesome. Well, thank you very much. Let's see. Smash the like button. Thank you, Thorsten. How to bulk create Facebook posts for the articles that we have published? That's a great question. Fantastic question. This is what I would do. I would go to the Penny Arcade, okay? You put in all your blog post titles, okay? Now hopefully you have that written down somewhere. If you don't, you can go to your sitemap, and then there'll be, you just Google search like sitemap URL to extractor or something like that. You eventually get the titles, okay? You can get that from the sitemap, or you can get that from your saved documents or something. And oh, I'm sorry, I'm going about this the wrong way. You get the URLs. That's what you need. You get the URLs for all the articles from your sitemap. You put them all in here, okay? All of them in here. And you click this button right down here, only summarize. And you wait for it to pop up. Why is it not popping up? Oh, I don't have any, I have nothing in here. I'll just put a URL in here. Okay. You know how there's a text discombobulator and there's a SERP discombobulator? This is effectively a URL discombobulator. Okay, if you don't know what the discombobulators are, let me, AI Vault, SERP discombobulator, text discombobulator, okay? And there's instructions and explanation about each one of these. But there's a URL discombobulator in here. I built this before I made the discombobulators, and then I'm like, oh, hey, it'd be cool to actually do this, right? Do what we're doing in here, but with the SERP, and then also just with raw text, okay? So those things came after. So what this would do is you can create a custom prompt. Okay, now this is different than a raw prompt. I'll show you in a second. We create a custom prompt for making a Facebook post, okay? And then what this will do is it will go to this URL, this first URL, and summarize it, and then feed that summary into whatever prompt you've created over here. So let's say you've created a prompt to create Facebook posts, and you put in 1,000 URLs in here. It will create a Facebook post from each of those summaries from each of those URLs. And then they'll either be individual text files, or you can output everything as a single CSV, okay? Now, you're gonna load a custom prompt. So we gotta define a custom prompt first, right? So custom prompt, you create your custom prompt in here. Now a custom prompt follows a specific format, okay? Just like the raw prompts, there's a template that I feed into OpenAI or whatever AI you're using. This is the custom prompt. You can read about it. I've discussed this multiple times. I'm not going to talk about it more right now, but this is basically what I'm feeding to the AI, all right? And your custom prompt that you put in the box is fed right into here. So you're not taking this, okay? You're not taking this and putting this in here. That's the wrong thing to do. You're taking this portion right here and putting this in, okay? Now you can test this out, right? You can go in, you can generate an article, get the summary of the article, and then go to the AI, go to like the playground or something like that, and then fill in the data, kind of like this right here, fill in the data, all right? Put in a prompt down here and see if you get that Facebook post in a style that you like. If you do, all right, then you know your custom prompt is good. You'll simply take this custom prompt that you've created, save it in here, example for Abdul. Obviously this is not a custom prompt, but imagine it was, and we'd say Abdul, we'd save the prompt, oops, gotta be named custom prompt, ABDUL, save prompt, and then we'd go back over here, only summarize, Facebook, and we'd load our custom prompt. We'd select the model we wanted to use, output it all as a CSV, maybe we want stuff translated, and then we'd start our Facebook generation, okay? That's what I would do. Will this be available afterwards? Greg, it's gonna be a couple hours just because it will be today. Right now it is 2 o'clock Eastern time. It will be hopefully before dinner time tonight. I just have some videos I need to get up on YouTube, some onboarding I need to get done. So just a couple more hours. The code itself is done though, but I don't want to give you something and you guys not know how to use it. Is there a recommended way to write ebook focused content with ZimmWriter? I am not the right person to ask. I know you can. There are quite a number of people that have done that. I would ask that in the group. But the raw prompts that we've created in the custom background will definitely help you with this. Link Whisper works well enough. Keep the focus on what ZimmWriter does best. Exactly. Yeah. Talking about the internal linking. Azalin asks, is there a way we can get better images? Some niches are just so tough to get good images. Do you have any tips? Yes, yes. So, and this is, I wanted to show you this. This is so cool. We're about out of time. I'll answer your question, and then I'll talk about the rest of the features, and then I'll hang up the phone, and we'll just kind of wait a little bit while I get the rest of the videos done. It will be out. The update will be out tonight. Aslan, what I recommend you to do is in the options menu, when you set up WordPress, all right, you can add your site and all that stuff. When you've added your site, okay, what you can do is go to wait, where is it? Set AI image prompt. Okay. Now there's a directions link up here that will kind of walk you through this stuff. Okay. But the high level is I have a prompt that I'll feed into the AI model that you've chosen, whether it's Stable Diffusion or DALL-E from OpenAI. And dynamically, all right, depending on what blog post it's on, I'll put the title of that blog post in here. And I'll say, write a prompt to generate an image without text for a blog post about how to wash a dog. Use detailed visual language that is specific, no text or words in the image, make the prompt less than 35 words, okay? And that's for a featured image. If we're doing a subheading image, it becomes like this. Same exact thing, but I have title and also a subheading placeholder, okay? Now, this is what I send to OpenAI or Stability. Or no, actually, I'm sorry. I send this to an AI model. I think the ancillary task model, okay? And then it will create that prompt. And so the prompt might be like, create an image of, such and such about this topic, okay? So this is the prompt I send to the AI to then create a prompt, which I'll then take, all right, and then feed to the image model, okay? So again, this is not sent to the image model. This is sent to the AI to generate another textual prompt, all right, that I'll then take and feed to the AI models. Now, I have an AI site that dealt with skin. Like, let's talk, think about lotions and things like that, okay? So stuff with skin. Well, a lot of these models don't like that because they're like, oh, they're talking about skin. That's dangerous. That's sensitive stuff. We can't talk about skin. And so they'll give you either blurred images or you'll get mangled fingers or things like that. I'm like, okay, how do I solve this? How do I solve this problem? So I created a prompt, a custom prompt for my site. Let's pretend my site was this right here. All right, AI blog post writer. All right, so you can load up any site that you've added for WordPress. And I created a prompt to just create images of the environment in the background or in the products, the environment, like the background, like the setting on where this would take place, and then also the products themselves. Not labeled products, not a product by Bath and Body Works or something, but just like unbranded products, okay? And that solved my problem. I didn't have people's hands in there anymore. I didn't have mangled fingers. It all looked good. It looks really, really good. People like the images. And you can do that, and you can test this stuff out at a site called Dream Studio. At Dream Studio, it uses your Stability API key. Let's see if I can make this a little bit. All right. So you can come in here and you can put in your prompt, okay? And you can also select your style. Oh yeah, your style. Just like in ZimmWriter, you can select the style. If you're using Stability, you say, okay, I want clay art, for instance. And then you can say, okay, 16 by 9, and you'll generate 4 images. And you'll kind of get an idea for what it's going to look like. Now, this is using the very inexpensive SD model, okay, inside of ZimmWriter. You can't choose the other models inside of this, but at least you can get a feel for if you're trying to like get rid of skin, or if you're trying to get it in a particular style or a particular environment, you can get a feel, a taste for what it will be like in here. When you're happy with it, all right, you can come in here and put your prompt inside of here and put your subheading prompt inside of here, and then click save. And then you got to enable it also. And then whenever you write an article for that particular website, and it's going to be uploaded to WordPress, it will use this prompt. Okay, so imagine we have something saved for this particular site. We go into the bulk writer now. We put some, how to wash a dog, and we go to WordPress and we load up our site right here and we save it. Because that site is now loaded, whatever model we choose in here is going to use that custom image prompt that we just created, okay? So that is how, all right, there's no one-click solution to solve your problem. You need to tweak the prompts. You need to create a custom prompt, tweak the prompt, test the prompt, save the prompt. But then when you dial that in for your site, you'll get great results. And then also what you can do is, and I found this very, very useful. I create stuff because I find it useful for my own use, because I know other people will then want it also. Let's say you've created your site, you've uploaded 200 articles, but like, I don't know, 5% of the images are still blurred or they're not looking very good. What can you do? You can come to the AI Vault and click on Bulk Image Generator. You can put in all of your article URLs if you want to, or just all of the titles for all of the URLs if you want to. All right, so let's pretend we published the How to Wash a Dog article. We can put in the actual URL if we want to, or we can just put in the title, How to Wash a Dog, okay? We can put in up to 1,000 different blog post titles or 1,000 different URLs. And then we can load our saved prompt. So again, imagine we had a saved prompt in here, we would load it right up here, or we could just do the default if we want to. And then we can select our writing model. This is the model that's gonna turn this into an actual prompt, okay? And then we select our image model, all right? And then we can create up to 15, if we want to, 15 images for each one of these titles. So imagine again, you've uploaded 200 articles to your site, 5% of them, all right, maybe 50 images are kind of bad, or they could be better, right? So you come in here, you generate a bunch of images, it will spit out the images to your output directory, and then you can pick and choose from there which ones you want to upload to WordPress, okay? Just be aware there is a compress option in here. If you compress the images, they'll be about like 100 kilobytes, but if you don't compress them, they'll be about like 3 megabytes or something like that, okay? And then also, if you want to do social images, you can use this for social too. It's really cool. You can say, okay, I want to do a stable diffusion digital art. You can choose the aspect ratio and say, I want 1:1 or I want 9:16. And you can create a lot of different social images too. I want to share with you a cool thing I promised I would share. I'll probably make a separate video on it, but this is so awesome. In this update, you're also going to get access to, if you've added the Stable Diffusion or Stability API key, Stable Diffusion Ultra. This is ultra expensive. So I would not use this for featured images unless this isn't a big deal. 8 cents an image is not a big deal. But watch this. This is so freaking cool. I have a prompt here. There we go. This is a really cool looking prompt. Write a prompt to generate a graphic illustration for a blog post about title. Use detailed visual language that is specific. Make the prompt less than 35 words. The prompt should start with, quote, a graphic illustration with the phrase title, all right, in quotes, at the top, but no other text. The illustration should be with minimal colors and use thick black lines. It should include, and then I just stop it and then end the quotes, all right? Check this out. How to wash a dog. Tricks to get into college with bad grades. Someone give me a title. Give me a title, guys. Give me a title for a blog post. Someone give me a title. Are we still live? I hope we're still live. Come on, someone give me a title. No titles. All right, I'll just come up with something. Reasons to get a job at before college. All right, we'll just go with that, I guess. Let's go down here and click Stable Diffusion. I could do line art if I wanted to. Let's do line art, although this does work with photographic. All right, and we'll do 3 images per title because I don't want to take forever. And we'll use Mini to generate, and we'll use the default prompt, how to kill it with ZimmWriter. I guarantee you that would be, there we go. Okay, here. How to make money as a student, 8 Steps to leverage white space in design. All right. Now, if you'll notice in here, I don't have subheading in here. Okay, I just have title. I'm doing that for a specific reason. We'll just go with this. I'll create, let's just do 2 for sake of time. And so this, I haven't tested this concept that I discovered out with other stable diffusion models. Ultra still messes up on fingers, all right, but it's amazing at text, all right. It's absolutely amazing at text. So here's our first, I don't know if I clicked compress, so I think these are just gonna be uncompressed images. Let's see what we get. How to make money as a student. How cool is that? How to make money as a student. Steps to leverage white space in design. Steps to leverage white space. So, you know, some of them are not perfect. That's why you generate a couple of them. Leverage steps, leverage white space. So that didn't come out very well. Tricks to get into college with bad grades. See what else we got. Date modified. Reasons to get a job before college. That's pretty cool. And then one more. I've actually let's try one more too. Let's do this. Let's take off graphic illustration, an image. So you just kind of play with your prompts a little bit. The image, an image with the phrase title at the top, but no other text. The image should be, let's see, a social media image. Let's try that. Social media. I wonder what the AI would do with the phrase title at the top, but no other text. The image should be with minimal colors. Let's get rid of that. All right. Oh, I picked Stable Diffusion 3. You're right. You're right. See, I made that mistake. Stable Diffusion 3 line art. It's actually down. I was kind of bummed. I'm like, you know, that the quality isn't like amazing. Kind of depressed a little bit. All right, let's we'll do that again. But we're using this different prompt now. Okay, I've kind of changed the prompt up a little bit. Probably didn't have to. All right, reasons to get a job before college, tricks to get into college with bad grades, steps to leverage white space in design, how to make money as a student. Okay, I think I have the right stuff selected now. Stable Diffusion U, SDU. Okay, 2 for each. Let's copy this, so at least I have that, and we'll create the images. I'll just back up this list in case we want to do it one more time with the original prompt. Let this generate. We'll check this out, and then I'll just briefly cover the rest of the changes in ZimmWriter real briefly. I don't want to keep you guys too long. We're already 13 minutes over, and then I'll call it a day. See, SDU takes a little bit more time. You can read about it at the Stability AI page. But you'd get, you know, for those that are interested, you'd go to stability.ai, and you would click on Platform API. You'd create an account, and you'd get, you know, you buy credits. That's what it is. It's all just based on credits. Account. So this really, Stable Diffusion U really burns a lot of credits. So, but 1,000 credits are $10, and so that gets you, what about 150 SDU images, but it might get you like 4,000 SD images. Okay, let's try this now. Reasons to give a job before college. That's cool though. can kind of you probably fix that in Canva. That's what I did for one of my my articles. Reasons to get a job before college. Tricks to get into college with bad grades. That's not bad. That's pretty good. It came out right. Tricks to get into college with bad grades. Steps to leverage. There's a lot of white space, that's for sure. Steps to leverage white space in design. Because I was really impressed by what we had, what I generated yesterday. This is what we had yesterday. Like some of this stuff is just insane. I believe this is all with that initial prompt I used, but I used GPT or I used Stable Diffusion U. This one's great. So I don't know if I'd set this this as your prompt. I don't think I'd set this as your prompt for your featured image because it's too hit or miss. But I'd probably set it as the one for let's do that one more time. I'm gonna do one more with the original prompt. I probably set it. I'd probably come in here and use it with the bulk image generator and use it possibly for images for social. All right, I'm going to do this one last time, but with the initial prompt with Stable Diffusion U. Make money as a student. That's actually really cool. Wow, you could go into Canva, clean this up. Wow, that's kind of cool. Let's see what we get. This is on one last try, but with this initial prompt, but now using Stable Diffusion U. I'm using minimal colors. That was my prompt selection, so you could play with it and kind of see what you get. Okay, we'll just let that finish. All right, so the rest of the stuff that is in the update, we bumped up the number of custom prompts that you're allowed to have from 50 to 500. I put a patch in place for the conclusion to avoid it being too long. We now have a background waterfall, which is really cool. Before in the SEO writer, if you gave the H2 a background, but you did not give like the H3, so if you give the H2 a background and not the H3, let me just switch. Then it would not use that H2 background for the H3. Now it will. So if you imagine your H2, your H3, your H4, if you don't have any backgrounds, like custom backgrounds for those subheadings, it will use the H2 background. So that's pretty powerful right there. We can stack raw prompts 3 times. We can put, we can hide the raw prompts. Let's see, not upload them to WordPress. We can do selectable models for each subheading. We talked about that. Oh yeah, there's an important feature I forgot to mention. This is pretty important. Come on, let this job finish. See how some of these are. I'm sure some people will have fun playing with this. How to make money as a student. Oh, that's really neat. Wow. That's sweet. I have Canva. It's like so powerful, but I can't come up with cool designs. So when if you decide to use a custom outline and use those where is it? Right here. Nope, right here. These model equal things in your custom outline. Okay, you can go into options. You can go into here and switch the screen so you can't see my API keys. And press this button right here, copy all models to clipboard. You press this button, then in the clipboard, you'll have all of your different models that are easy to just paste right into your custom outline then, okay? So you don't have to like, oh yeah, how was this written and stuff like that. So you can just press that button inside of that setup text API menu, copy them all to the clipboard, and then as you're designing your custom outline, probably in Notepad or something, you can pull the models out that you want to use with that. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is so sweet. Check this out. Look at that. You can now specify what you want the frequently asked questions to say for the heading, and then also what you want the conclusion to say. So you don't want the conclusion to say conclusion, you can say like final takeaway. And then any of your blog posts that you write will now say final takeaway instead of conclusion. Don't put a colon on the end, okay? You just have it just kind of like this, but you can, you know, common questions, and now you won't have frequently asked questions. So some people wanted that because they think that there's like a footprint for AI stuff. Now you can completely change that up. Copy paste, adjust many of the progress indicators, added Stable Diffusion Ultra. Yeah, I think that's about it. So guys, that's the update. I hope you guys are all excited. I can't wait to release it. It's gonna be a couple hours. Let me just finish up these training videos, and then it will be yours to play with. And it's a big update. So I hope stuff doesn't break, but if it does, you know, I'll get some patches out and things like that. Thanks for joining me for the hour, and good luck with your content generation. I'll talk to y'all later.